Welcome back to another UCL Fantasy video. This will be the best wildcard team for Matchday 9, the first leg of the quarterfinals. Be sure to check out the best limitless squad, the team selection video, and the plan is to do a deadline stream on the Tuesday at the usual 6 p.m. UK time. If there's anything you disagree with in terms of our selections or someone you think that deserves a mention, then be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. And thank you very much for watching. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, show support to boost us up in the algorithm, and let's try to get this video to over 300 likes. But without further ado, let's jump straight into this video. We have made one change from the best limitless squad, and you also have to think about the long term when you're wildcarding. And with the goalkeepers, it's not really a position you want to chop and change. And you also have to think about which teams can go far in this competition to the final. And Real Madrid will always be one of those contenders. They've won it 14 times. Thibaut Courtois was the hero in last season's Champions League final. And whilst Onana will probably be eliminated in the quarterfinals or the semi-finals, he still has a really high ceiling and he could do very well in both games, even if Inter Milan concede. And that fixture's maybe a bit 50-50 in terms of who's going to go through. I'd personally back Benfica, so you might argue Vlaco Dimos is a better pick, or you want to go for someone else entirely. But that's something else you also have to think about in terms of the possible future matchups. So with Real Madrid, for example, they would face the winners of Man City and Bayern Munich. So that could also be a concern if you go for Ederson and Thibaut Courtois, on top of the fact that they cost so much money when you go for two goalkeepers, around 6 million. So I've gone for Onana and Courtois, and I personally think Real Madrid have the best chance for a clean sheet in Matchday 9. And even at Stamford Bridge, I would not be surprised if Madrid won that game and kept a clean sheet. So I've gone for these two goalkeepers. You could make a case for Vlaco Dimos, Ederson and Sommer, but I think these two is probably the best in the long term, and I think it could do really well for you. I have made a few changes to what I originally had set out for the Matchday 9 wildcard. I have kept a double up in Benfica defence because I firmly believe they can keep a clean sheet against Inter Milan at home. So I've gone for Grimaldo and Antonio Silva, but you can make a case for Bar and the right back position. I would have said Otamendi, but he's suspended, so he's no longer in consideration, of course. And I think Grimaldo and Antonio Silva provide you very good cost-effective options, with Grimaldo being the best in terms of attacking threat and Antonio Silva in terms of ball recoveries and his price. I've also gone for Ruben Dias. If you want someone a bit cheaper, then I'd probably go for Nathan Ake, who costs around 4.4 million. But Ruben Dias is the most nailed on. He can get some ball recovery points, and he's played 90 minutes in every single game he's been available for since his return from injury. When he first came back, he was maybe playing 45 minutes and all of this jazz, but since then, it's just 90 minutes in every single appearance, and that's perfect for a Man City defender. You're not going to get too many nailed-on players from that team, but Ruben Dias is one of the most nailed at this moment in time. And the other two defenders include Antonio Rudiger, so we've gone for a double-up in Real Madrid defensively. Antonio Rudiger is my favourite Real Madrid defender because of ball recoveries. He also was a great option when he was at Chelsea. And I look at the others like Militao. He's got more attacking threat, you could argue. And I look at the other defenders like Carvajal. He's maybe more susceptible to rotation. He's been pretty poor in certain games too. And Di Lorenzo, it goes without saying, even if you back AC Milan to keep a clean sheet and win against Napoli in the first game, I'd highly recommend him anyway, because Di Lorenzo's been the best UCL fantasy defender so far in this campaign. He can get goals, assists, ball recoveries, man of the match awards, and I don't see many better defender options. And if he can reach the final, he could be just an easy lock-in until Matchday 13. This is arguably the best midfield five you can build on the wildcard, and also using free transfers. So I've gone for Leroy Sané. He hasn't been in the best of form, especially in the Champions League, where he typically is very good for Bayern Munich, but I've gone for him purely for budget reasons. Ideally, I would go for Sadio Mane, and that's what the limitless team can offer you instead. But Leroy Sané is still an adequate replacement, and let's not forget how good he can be in this competition. I've also gone for Vinicius Jr. I think that's just a very simple pick. He's been fantastic throughout the whole season, and even in La Liga, he's picking up some form now, but in the Champions League, he's been great in every single game pretty much, and he hasn't blanked in every single game he has started. And then we've gone for João Mario at home to Inter Milan. He's on penalties. He's been very good in the Portuguese league, and he's also translated that form to the Champions League. He's on set pieces, and he's a fantastic budget option. The same goes for Kvaratskhelia, although I would prefer the inclusion and return of Osimhen, because if he isn't there, I think Napoli do struggle a lot offensively, despite having some very good backup forwards like Giovanni Simeone. It's not the same as having Osimhen leading your line, and also that combination with the Georgian winger in Kvaratskhelia. And then Kevin De Bruyne, he's been very good in recent games. I know he's been a bit inconsistent since the World Cup, but in recent weeks he started to pick up form, combining very well with Kevin De Bruyne, setting up, creating so many chances. And in the Champions League, De Bruyne has been fantastic all season, getting Man of the Match awards, assists, and now it's just time for him to add even more goals to his game in this competition. But he did score one against Leipzig towards the very end of that match and produced a double-digit return. So this is the midfield five we've gone for. You could make a case for a few others, maybe from Bayern Munich. I wouldn't go from any from Chelsea, to be quite frank, and Inter Milan. So really it comes down to Real Madrid, Benfica, Bayern Munich, and Man City, in my opinion. Of course, you've also got Napoli there with Kvaratskhelia. I just don't think I'd go for any of the others from the other teams. If Osimhen is fit, this would be the optimal front three, with three of the best forwards in the world, three great goal scorers who play for three great clubs too. The big question mark though is, if Osimhen is out, who do we replace him with? And I think the big answer, the biggest solution would be a Benfica forward, and I'm mainly looking at Gonzalo Ramos, but you could also go for Rafa Silva, and Rafael Leao wouldn't be a bad replacement either. He did extremely well the last time he faced Napoli in Serie A, as AC Milan won 4-0 away from home, but I would probably give the edge to a Benfica forward, but that's only in the case that Osimhen is out. If he's fit, he's going to be in this squad, no doubt about it, and this is the best front three you can build on the wildcard, limitless, or using free transfers. Karim Benzema did very well against Chelsea last season. I'm expecting more of the same this time round, and I'm also expecting Real Madrid to go far in this competition, and even if Madrid are eliminated in the semi-finals or lose the final, Benzema can still get some goals, assists, and some UCL Fantasy points in the process. And as for Erling Haaland, he scores pretty much in every single game. Scored a brace at the weekend against Southampton. He scored 5 goals in his last Champions League match. He probably would have scored more if he had stayed on the pitch. And he's also a great captaincy option. The same can be said for Karim Benzema and Osimhen, but Haaland is just frightening on his day. And he's facing Bayern Munich, which is a very tough test, but I think Man City can come out with flying colours, and I think Haaland can score a few more goals in the home match at least. And he is just a very good fantasy option, no matter which competition we're talking about. So this is the front three I've gone for. Let me know down in the comment section below who you would replace Osimhen with, should the Nigerian not be fit. But if he is, he's going to be in the squad, and there are no two questions about it. The final thing to determine is the captaincy, and as I said in the best limitless team video, for me on the Tuesday I would go for Erling Haaland or Joao Mario, with my current preference being Erling Haaland. And on the Wednesday, let's say for example your captain doesn't do that well, then you can switch it to a Real Madrid attacker, and I'd probably favour Benzema, but Vinicius Jr. is not a bad replacement either, and I think both of them could do extremely well at the same time. So my personal preferences for the captaincy right now would be Erling Haaland and Karim Benzema on those two separate days. Be sure to check out my How to Play UCL Fantasy guide if you have any questions about substitutions, captaincy, or anything else about the game, including ball recoveries, and what would you change with this best wildcard squad. But thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, then be sure to smash the like button and subscribe for new. Let's get this video to over 300 likes. Let's keep on pushing towards 20,000 subscribers and beyond. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, and check the links in the description below for the Patreon, channel memberships, Discord server, and the UCL Fantasy League. All of that is there. I wish you all the best of luck for Matchday 9 and the rest of the tournament, and I'll see you next time.